If you're around, join me, and super excited and pumped to share this awesome tool with you. Super simple. So when you're in a place where you're feeling a bit low energy, maybe a little bit discouraged or frustrated, maybe you're wrestling with some indecision about the next right thing for you to do or the next right step. So if you are in that place, and I'm sure you have been at some point in your life, and maybe you didn't feel like you had the right tools or knew quite what to do, or maybe you just spent more time than you would have liked in that low energy space. So I'm going to share with you a quick tool for you so that when you're in that place, you can get yourself out of it and start moving in the direction that you desire. So I'm going to share this real quick, and then we'll get started. So if you're there, say hello. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're watching on the replay, of course, let me know that you watched on the replay, because I would love to say hello to you as well. All right, so let's see if I can find this thing. So we all experience different periods, where we go through, episodes where we feel a little bit more down or discouraged, or we're kind of hanging out in low energy. And sometimes when we get in that place, of course, it makes it much more difficult to take actions. It makes it more difficult to make decisions. And so we end up actually spending more time in that place than is necessary, and of course more time than we would like. And so what I'm going to share with you is what you can do instead to get out of it, so that you can start taking action, and so that you can start moving yourself into a place that you desire. All right, friends. All right. Okay. Cool. Okay, so this past weekend I went to a transformational breath workshop, and I have done some transformational breath work in the past. And one thing I noticed years ago when I was doing my yoga teacher training is that I tend to, which I think is pretty common in a lot of us, we tend to have very shallow breath, is that we have a lot of restriction in our chest, which of course is why we get a lot of tension in our shoulders and our neck. And we're hunched over a lot at our computers when we get upset or we're in conflict. Of course, we hunch. And so one thing to do to help yourself if you're in a place of negative energy or starting to feel that kind of spiral of doubt and maybe on some upcoming depression coming on. And so what you can do first thing is just roll your shoulders back. And it makes me, reminds me of when I was in the military, when we would, come to attention. And now that I think about it, it makes sense that when you're presenting arms, or when you're presenting yourself, of course, you want to present your whole self. You want to have an open heart. You want to have an open mind. And you want to be able to access deeper levels of connection, which is possible through our breath. And so one way to start to shift your energy is to roll your shoulders back, and of course to notice what is happening with your breath. Notice if you are constricting your breath, maybe you have very shallow breath. Hey there. And then consciously choose to draw in more breath. And so that means expanding your chest. That means counting as you inhale for up to 5 to 8 to 10, and seeing how much more you can get than you think. And then even allowing yourself to suspend that breath for 5 to 8 to 10 seconds, to hold and to see what it feels like when you have completely filled yourself with rich oxygen. And then do the same as you exhale, counting from 5 to 8 to 10, holding the breath out for 5 to 8 to 10 seconds. And really what this does is that when we're experiencing negative emotions or some discouragement or doubt or indecision, what happens is we often constrict our breath, and then we shut off oxygen to our brain, which doesn't allow us to have a clear mind, to think through what things are. And we also shut off our connection with our heart by constricting our breath. And so there's no connection between our heart and our head, which is where we want to be making our decisions. We want that rational part of us to be connected to our emotional part of us versus disconnected. We don't want to be making decisions from the place of just the heart or just the head, because they really are designed to work in tandem and to work well together. And so when you invite in the breath in those moments of discouragement or doubt or depression or indecision, instead of running from the feelings, which is what we commonly do, is we get nervous, we get anxious, and so instead of wanting to sit with that discomfort, we grab a glass of wine, we grab a glass of beer, we grab a piece of chocolate, we grab our phone and start scrolling through Instagram or the news or any number of ways that we use to distract ourselves from what is actually happening. And what is actually happening is actually our body, our soul, our spirit, our mind inviting us into a deeper experience. Hold on one second. So when we can actually accept the invitation by connecting with our breath and sitting with whatever is happening for us and explore what it is inviting us to learn, inviting us into, then we are allowing ourselves a new experience. We're allowing ourselves to really honor where we are instead of run from where we are or judge or criticize or beat ourselves up for where we are. We're really being more mindful of a place of acceptance and allowing ourselves to see ourselves through different eyes. Because often if we're in a place where we have low energy or negativity, we tend to also be super judgmental and critical. And so when we can actually just sit with it and accept it and honor it and understand at a different level that through acceptance comes change, not through derision and not through criticism, not through beating ourselves up, not through more of whatever it is that we have been doing that hasn't been working. And so it's counterintuitive to think that acceptance creates change because we often think we have to work harder and do all these different things to change when actually, if we're not able to accept where we are, how can we move to somewhere else? And so connecting with the breath allows you to be where you are and allows you to invite in more breath so that you can experience a different emotional state, a different energetic state. Hi there. And allows you to see what is the gift in whatever the experience is. What is the gift in the frustration and the discouragement and the depression and the negative energy? What is it here to teach you? And a lot of times it's here to teach us to be okay with where we are, to teach us to stop running away, to stop distracting, and to dip our toe in the pool of acceptance and love and forgiveness of ourselves so that we can invite in more of what we desire instead of running away and pushing away those negative feelings that keep us separated from what we desire. All right. So thank you all for being here. Love to hear your thoughts. And if you're on the replay, let me know your thoughts. And of course, if you're in a place where you're wrestling with indecision and have been going through some of the same things and not seeing the results and maybe are in a place of feeling stuck, reach out to me. I'm offering a new way to work with me, which is a breakthrough to you session, which allows you to experience being guided to your own inner wisdom, your own right path, for a super amazing rate of just $333. So reach out to me if that's interesting to you, and I'd love to help you work through whatever it is you're wrestling with right now, because I know there is incredible freedom and incredible joy on the other end. All right, talk to you soon.